Early voting for the gubernatorial primaries gets underway today in Westchester, but some community leaders say it is off to a slow start. Let's go now to News 12's Ben Nandy, who has some disappointing numbers from day one of early voting and more on how some people are trying to fix that.
I'm here at Greenburgh Town Hall. It is one of a few voting locations we've been to today. There are 23 early voting locations just in Westchester County. We've spoken to a handful of voters who say they were disappointed when they arrived here on Saturday morning to find no other voters.
If you can't put this on the calendar as something to do, you should think about that.
Kevin and Roe McAfee are among the first voters in the June primary. They were disappointed there wasn't a long line of excited people waiting to get into this voting center in Greenburgh when it opened Saturday morning.
When we were kids and started way back in the 70s, you know, it was the polling day and that was it. So this is a great thing that you can get more people involved at a varied amount of times.
Greenburgh Town Supervisor Paul Feiner says an expected 25% turnout for the election to choose candidates for governor, lieutenant governor, and assembly is terrible.
People in the Ukraine are fighting to keep democracy, and we're taking it for granted.
Over at this early voting center in White Plains, a poll worker said that by midday, only about 20 people had voted here. Feiner would have liked for this June primary to be combined with the August primary for congressional candidates in one big blowout summer election.
With a low turnout, if you had more races the same day, the turnout would have been much greater. So I'm sort of disappointed in that.
Feiner says during early voting for the November 2020 election, the town brought in food vendors and entertainment for people who were waiting in line for up to 5 hours. He's planning something similar for next week to try to attract passers-by to vote. I want you to go to our website, News 12. There's so much good information there about early voting, locations, times, numbers to call if you are confused. Just bookmark it and use it as a resource. It's there for you. Also, we will be checking back next week with Paul Feiner to see if he has managed to attract any new voters to this voting location. Ben Nandy, News 12.
All right, thank you so much, Ben. Well, early voting periods also begin today in other counties in our area and runs through the 26th. Primary voting for everyone else is on June 28th. And as you heard Ben say there, to find the closest early voting center near you, just head to our website, news12.com.